Hello. This video has been prepared to help you through the installation process of putting MyWorkDrive onto your personal computer. I've done this because there are a couple of options that I want to show you that are not included in the installation instructions with the link that I provided in Module A of Week 1 um, in the lesson for the week. So what I wanted to do was go through the installation process with you so that you don't have any problems when you restart your machine and try to reconnect to your shared network resource. Now, a shared network resource is a location at the Loyola campus where you can store individual files related to the class, or any class for that matter. Once the connection is made, you have a 5 GB workspace where you can put any type of file you want that you can use while you're a student at Loyola University. Now, in Module A, there are 2 links that are available to show you the installation instructions from MyWorkDrive so you can connect your personal computer to the Loyola resource. Since I'm using a PC, I'm going to go through the instructions for installing MyWorkDrive on a Windows-based machine, but the instructions are similar installing MyWorkDrive on a Mac machine. You just click the appropriate link. So let's get started. Once you click on the link, when I clicked on the link for using a Windows-based machine, this is the page I was navigated to. Now, just for information, I'm using Google Chrome, and when you're using Google Chrome and you download a piece of software to be installed on the computer, it appears in the lower left-hand corner of the browser. And then once it's completely downloaded, you have the ability of executing the software. So we're not quite there yet, but these are the installation instructions. Now, because those 2 particular options that I was telling you about do not appear in the installation instructions, let me show you what I'm talking about so you are better prepared when you get to that installation configuration screen. So this is the installation instructions for the version for Windows. If I scroll down towards the bottom of the screen, once the software is installed, this is the configuration screen, which allows you to enter your credential information into the application. What's also important is this server URL. This is the web address that is necessary for you or for MyWorkDrive to connect to the Loyola server. And then you would put your Loyola credentials, your username and password. The drive letter here is user selectable. Now, since we're connecting to what Loyola calls the G drive on the Loyola server, logically, in my mind, I'm thinking, why not assign the G drive on my personal computer to connect to the G drive at Loyola's server? So that's what I'm going to do in the installation process. Also, you don't have to choose the G drive. I'm just telling you that if it's available, it's a logical connection between G drive on your laptop to the G drive at the Loyola server. But here are the 2 options I was referring to. Notice in the instructions, there's no check mark next to Remember Me or Map at Startup. We do want to make sure we put a check mark in the installation process in order to make sure that when you restart the machine, MyWorkDrive will restart and make the connection again so that you have no problem with getting into the Loyola resource. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to scroll back up to the top of the screen to where we have to start. And this is the beginning part right here. Navigate to the MyWorkDrive download page. Now, what I'm going to do is we need some information from this page later on. Specifically, we need to get access to that server URL on the screen. So I'm just going to launch this particular link in another tab. So I'm going to right click on the link and choose Open Link in a new tab. So when I do, it opens up that specific location. It brings us actually to the MyWorkDrive website. And according to the instructions, all you need to do is to go ahead and click on Download Now. It opens up a 3rd tab. And when I'm there, I'm going to scroll down a little bit. And according to the instructions, on the first page you came to, if you notice, select the link, download the latest Windows mapped drive client For Mac users, you'll see the word Mac here. So once I get to that location, which is right here, I'm going to go ahead and click on the link. And depending on how fast the internet connection is, will depend on how long it takes for us to download the software. So while it's downloading, it's about a quarter of the way done. Just really quickly again, the MyWorkDrive software is software that you run in your computer. It allows the connection between your personal PC and the Loyola server. Once we make the connection to the Loyola server, the software will allow you to get access to that particular location, and that location is a 5 gigabyte workspace where you can put files, you can organize them with folders, and we'll get into that in a different activity. It looks like my connection was pretty quick this morning, so I'm going to go ahead and click on the application, which is located in the lower left-hand corner of my browser. So once I go ahead and click on the application, on my particular computer, I'm getting a permission screen. It says, do you want to allow the following program to make changes to this computer? Since I am installing it, I'm going to go ahead and choose yes. It's confirming that we're going to be installing the particular version of MyWorkDrive client on this particular computer. I'm going to go ahead and choose yes. And then once that process gets started, the next screen you're going to come to is what they call the licensing agreement. This is the legal information for using this software. Basically, it's telling you how you can and cannot use the software. The other piece that it's going to be telling you is that you don't own MyWorkDrive software. They retain ownership of the software, that they're allowing you to use it. So once you choose I accept, the install button becomes live. I'm going to go ahead and choose install. Be patient, and which I'm not very good at, but we have to get through it. When we get a full green bar, it'll tell you the installation is complete, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on exit. Now, at this point, you would think logically that the software would just automatically open up on the screen, but it doesn't. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize my browser. And if you'll notice on my desktop, I have an icon that says MyWorkDrive Client Windows. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on that. And if you're looking at my screen right now, you're seeing something that you will not see. As an employee, as a faculty member of the university, we have to verify that we are who we are. So we have this intermediate screen, and then I have to use my telephone to allow me to connect. And if you'll notice that the server URL, I'm going to pull this window out of the way for a moment so I can explain this. The server URL is here, and that's in the instructions. Let me show it to you so you see that I'm not trying to pull anything on you. In the installation instructions, I'm going to scroll all the way down. And this is that window that I was telling you about earlier that we have to be very careful of. Here's the URL, https myworkdrive.loyola.edu. I have my username and password in here, and I've chosen to use the drive letter G drive, but I want to make sure that my Remember Me and Map at Startup options are selected. So I'm going to bring this back again. Notice that they are selected: G drive, Remember Me, Map at Startup. Once you put that information in and try to log in, it'll take a little bit of time for your software to handshake with the Loyola server, but you're going to get this message that says maximum file size limit set by your administrator is 500 megabytes. That does not refer to the size of your G drive on the Loyola server. This is referring to the maximum file size you can transfer at one time to the G drive. Now, good news is that we're not going to have assignments that are going to require file sizes of 500 megabytes or anything near that, so you don't have to worry about that. It's just basically telling you that up front. That's the 500 megabyte limit when you want to transfer a file. Go ahead and click on OK, and when you do, you're going to get an open window that tells you this is your G drive. This is telling you that you're connected to the Loyola resource. Now, when you come in, you'll see two folders, Home and Shared. In subsequent assignments, you'll see what you need to do. Now, I'm just going to give you a quick preview before we close this video out. You want to be focusing on Home. When you click on Home, now my particular G drive has a lot of information in it. I've already set up a folder called Summer 2018, and there's our folder for the class. When I go into the folder for the class, this is going to look awfully familiar when you do your first lab, so I'm not going to spoil any more. I just want you to see the process of actually connecting to. So my suggestion would be to go ahead and once you've allowed yourself to connect to the G drive, my suggestion is to restart the computer and see if you can reconnect to the G drive. I would suggest waiting 5 or 10 minutes once you restart the machine, because it does take some time to load all the individual pieces of software to really fully reboot the computer, especially if you haven't done it in quite some time. Okay, that's about it. I look forward to talking to you soon.